So after doing my Star Wars plug and play video, I was really excited to get back into doing these retro game videos as quickly as possible. So in true Brawny style, it's taken me at least a month to get on with it. But I finally found some time, so I sat down, fired up my list of games, pressed random pick to see what it would pick me next. And what did I get? Oddworld, Stranger's Wrath. Now I've never played this before, in fact I've never played any Oddworld game before, although I think I did have a demo of Abe's Exodus back in the day, but apart from that I don't really remember playing anything, and I've heard so much good things about Oddworld games, I'm sure this is going to be fun. So I'm excited to play this, and that's strange, why is the copyright screen in French? Oh well, I'm sure it won't affect... Wait, this is in French. Okay, it's no problem, I'm sure there's one of the menu options here will let me change the language. No, that's the credits. That's game options. That's, well, I don't even know what that is. Balls. So it turns out that I own a French copy of Oddworld Stranger's Wrath. I mean, I knew the cover was in French, but most European issue games have a language option in them, so I wasn't too worried. So when I bought it, I thought, great, I'm sure that'll be playable. Anyone want a French copy of Oddworld? So I went back to my random game generator to find out what it was going to give me instead of Oddworld Stranger's Wrath. And do you know what it gave me? Well, you don't, because I haven't told you yet. Although I might have called the video it. So if I have called the video it, then you'll already know what this is, and all of this spiel is pointless. Wario Land, the Shake Dimension.
Yeah, let's go!
I've always been a fan of the Wario games, both the WarioWare games, which obviously are an entirely separate thing, and Wario platform games. They're different enough to Mario games to feel like a different game, but they're 2D platformers, which I love, and they're first-party Nintendo games, so you know they're made with love, with care, and very, very well. And on firing this game up, I was impressed from the start. This looks gorgeous. I love the anime-style cutscenes, and the opening sequence seems to set out the villain's plan without being obvious. And then we see Wario. He's just doing his thing, sleeping in his car, when he gets a package delivered from... Whoa, wait a minute! What was that noise? What the hell is that little present that's making that kind of noise? Oh, it's a telescope with a green bird in. Clearly the lady is just very keen on ornithology. Anyway, in order to save some unspecified people and get a shit ton of money, Wario dives into a telescope ready to begin the game proper. And then we get the first thing that made me laugh hysterically when I played the game. Look at him running on the loading screen. How does he go that fast? I'm a fat man, I can't run anything like that fast. And so, it looks like we are finally into the game proper. And with the briefest of reminders that we must rescue the bottomless coin sack... Sorry, am I the only one who finds that funny? Off we go into the tutorial level, and this game instantly grabs me. It's funny, it's gorgeous to look at, and the tutorial level isn't over-tutorialised with these signs just showing you how to do various moves, although most of them are pretty obvious. The controls are nice and tight, well, sort of. I mean, they're nice and tight when they're controlled in a normal way, the motion controls less so. The first motion controlled action I discovered was aiming where to throw an item we've just picked up. And while it does work, it's certainly not precise or easy, and does have a habit of slowing down the game. The slamming on the ground motion control is much simpler, and the shaking of an item you're holding also works fine. But it does feel like these were simply shoehorned in, because it was a Wii game, and the law states that any first-party Wii game must use some kind of motion controls. The other moves are nice. I like the pipes that spit you out into a mad run that bashes through other blocks particularly. And then when you rescue one of the Murfles, there's no voice acting, so I've got no clue. I'm going to go with Murfles. When you rescue one of the Murfles, you discover the game's other unique feature. You have to get back to the start, but within a set time limit. I really like this mechanic. It gives you a fun way to backtrack across the level with a different route, and helps add some challenge to the last bit of the level for you. Now I will talk more about good and bad things in the game in a minute, but first I want to draw your attention to the most disturbing thing I've seen in a video game in quite some time. On the screen, where you get to select which world you're going to next, Wario stands there, shaking his ass. Dat ass dough. But why? Who asked for the twerking Wario? I'll tell you who, no one. There's not much more to say about the game as far as plot is concerned. You run around the levels collecting money and other trinkets, saving Murples, and then running back through the level to ensure you escape in time. And while this may sound like I think the game is boring, this could not be further from the truth. The game is fun. It has brilliantly designed levels, the controls are mostly great, and the graphics, well, I've mentioned them before, but they are just like taking control of a high quality cartoon show. And I'll be honest, the novelty didn't wear off for me. I was forever being impressed by all the nice little graphical touches. I mean, it's not a perfect game. The music is competent but not exactly memorable. The enemies are mostly forgettable. And there are a few too many moves. There's some moves that feel like they almost do the same thing as other moves, but they don't. They do slightly different things. And that's all fine. For me, however, the thing that would keep this out of my top 10 list of favourite 2D platformers is the motion controls. They're just so vague that they work against the rest of the pitch-perfect 2D platforming that goes on in this game. There's a particular puzzle in the second level which should not be hard, especially if you've ever played a Donkey Kong Country game, as it simply involves you aiming cannons at each other and firing yourself from one to the next. However, because the cannons are controlled entirely by motion controls, they're so imprecise that it made me have to do this puzzle several times over, which got pretty frustrating. All in all, it's a fun game and I'm definitely going to be playing more than my initial hours worth. I may even get round to completing it, it doesn't look that long. So if you like 2D platformers and you see this going cheap somewhere, I do recommend picking it up, if only for the stunning graphics and the mostly superb gameplay. I mean, it's not a Mario or Donkey Kong beater, but there's only so many of those games in the world, so you're going to have to play other 2D platformers if you're as big a fan as I am. So do go pick it up. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you thought of the video or what your favourite 2D platformers are. You can leave a comment below or you can find me on Twitter or Facebook. I'll put the links in the description. If you'd like to subscribe to see more of my silly videos, please do. And if you enjoyed this particular one, please do share it around. See you next time.